Do I see £30? £30, do I see 35? 35, do I see 40? 44, £40, anyone? Going once, going twice? Sold for £35 to the gentleman in the blue top, said the auctioneer. I had always wanted to visit the live auction one day, to see the thrill and excitement for myself, feel it and touch to hold up my numbered card, and win something unique. My card read 325 across it. Today seemed like any other auction day, boring stuff which wasn't worth anything of interest to me. There was only one thing I came here for. I got a tip from a friend of mine that someone was selling some vintage untouched mint condition puppets. Just the kind I collect, having 63 of them so far. These 4 will look awesome in my collection, but I have to wait and take them at last minute. Thought the hat wearing leather jacket supporting die-hard puppet fan. Time went as the auctions flew out the window. The hat-wearing man was already bought 3 of them. One for 55 quid, another for 52, and the final one for 125 quid. Spending a total of 212 quid, he held back his real money for the main price, for the puppet he longed to have in his possession. Eagerly waiting this time for precious items, auctions went over and over. Time flew by, and before he knew it, the clock already read 15:37. In that red writing the digital. 24-hour clocks have. He listened up for the auctioneer for those words he craved so badly. The time for his place had arrived. Auction collection 225. The mahogany puppet collection. Going for 200. Do I see 200? He asked. The man jumped from his chair and waved his card high as he could while bellowing £2,000 at the top of his voice. The bidders looked at him in awe. One of them even got up and left the auction, and no one else bid on it. So for £2,000 to number 325, the auctioneer spoke again. When all was said and done, the man went to collect his winnings. He handed over his money and picked up everything he bought, putting them all in his cupboard. As he was about to enter his car, someone from the auction walked up to him. "You must really want those puppets. It's too bad they don't belong to you," he said, as he walked off with a menacing laughter. The hatter ignored the ramblings of the old coot. He got into the driver's seat of his Honda and drove the 13-mile drive back to his house, where he parked outside carefully, took all his new belongings and placed them gently outside his house, searching for his key. He made sure to lock his car with the button locked on his key ring. After he opened his red front door with the number 12 written across it in plastic gold, he carried the bagged up items and placed them on the carpet floor of his living room, handling each puppet with utmost care. The extremity he went through to place the puppets in the perfect places was mind-boggling to his 2-year-old sister, whom he had to look after. After he had cooked some food and tidied up, he sat by and watched the puppets, observing every speck about them. Their red ribbons, their smooth, shiny wood, their ragged hair, each of their own individuality, yet the same to the untrained eye of a 2-year-old. Time was getting on as the clock struck 10 p.m. The man put his younger sister to bed and read her a story. Before heading to bed himself, due to a long, arduous journey, he made sure to lock up each door and window, then sent to his own room. All the while he was thinking of those puppets. The next morning woke with a thud, as his younger sister ran into his room, banging the door against the wall hard. "Brother, get up! You need to see something. Your dollies are alive!" she mentioned. The man jumped out of the bed and barged his way downstairs, running right through his living room to see through naught but a note in the place of his puppets. He picked it up and read, as it said, "Claudia Street Puppeteer's Pattern." The man got angry at his death heap. His private possessions, his peer obsess, had been ripped from his life, like pulling the soul from his body. He left the house in a rush to burst into the driver's seat of his silver Honda and sped off, leaving his house unlocked with his younger sister still inside. Just as his older sister was arriving home, he cared not for the laws or regulations of the road. He just kept on driving until he arrived at his destination, parking outside in a bit of a hurry. He was curious as to why he was brought here. The neighborhood seemed like a ghost town, dancing around a graveless graveyard. He looked at the houses, the businesses, for some clue or for something. He walked up and down the street. Nothing was there. No one was around. It sent goosebumps all over his body. The chill running down his spine was old enough to make his legs weak. He thought he would give up for the day and go back home, since it looked like a pointless endeavor. On his way back to the car, he saw someone. Just one person, slowly approaching. As he got closer to his car, he saw the man stop outside a building, so he slowly approached him, but he couldn't see his face, as the lock of the door popped open. The key holder started to grin as he turned his face to the man. "I told you those puppets weren't yours, but I would gladly sell them back to you, Jessie," he said as he walked in the building and stood behind the desk. The now confirmed Jessie followed him in slowly, looking around the puppets here and there, all different types and sizes, some of them made from wood, some with pull strings, some of them purely from straw, cotton, wool, and all sorts. Handheld puppets from different sizes, all the way to human-sized 6-foot puppets. The man behind the counter pulled a string tightly as the banner rolled down with the words "Puppeteer Patterns" across it. "They call me the Puppet Master. You may do the same," he said. He threw his hands to the side of the counter and pressed the button on each side, which turned all the lights on in the place. "So what the hell do you want from my puppets?" "Why the hell should I buy them for a second time?" Jessie said, throwing a fit in the middle of the room. The puppet monster picked up one of the string puppets from the left-hand side of the stall. "You don't have to. You could always try to get them yourself. Just go through the door called storage, and all the way at the back," he said. Jessie rushed past him like a raging storm and walked to the door. As he held the handle, he felt a strange, ominous glare behind him. He leered around the room to see every single puppet, each kind, just staring at him, looking down on him with those soul-shaking glares. The moment he opened the door, he could hear a string being pulled with the words "Good luck" in a tightly high-pitched voice. "Good luck!" He felt he just entered a totally different realm, a whole new dimension, surrounded with conspicuous and devilish puppets, all of them saying the words "la la di da" over and over, synced up to the sound of the olden clock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, la la di da, la la di da, over and over, like on repeat from a 10-hour video. Jessie began screaming through his surroundings, looking for those precious puppets of his. He walked around the labyrinth, unwilling to give up, until he reached his puppets. On his way he saw a rare puppet, One he had huge eyes on for years, but as he went to steal it, slowly turning slowly to face him. The creaking could be heard from anywhere in the room. The puppet widened its eyes as it spoke to him in a high-pitched, slightly giddy voice. It said, "I wouldn't try that if I were you. It wouldn't end badly. It would end badly," Jesse said. Jesse had a distraught and freaked expression on his face. His mind itself felt like vomiting up. Never mind him. The puppet stopped grinning at him before going back to that damn la-di-da. La-di-da! Jesse thought that he would lose his mind if he spent too much time in here. So he frantically ran from place to place, hitting dead end after dead end, never finding the correct path which leads to his puppet. The sound of the ticking was being pounded into his head. The thoughts of all the bastard dolls, as I am to quote, were ripping apart from his last nerve and toying with it like a jump rope in the school playground. He continued searching endlessly, no halting in his forward movement, inching ever closer to the end of his adventure. Time seemed to fly around his head. Calendar papers landed in the mental floor his pictured in his mind. Feeling insecure and trapped like a bird in a cage, being hunted and waiting for death. Carving it, eventually he found his way to the correct path. Just as pure exhaustion kicked in, as food and drink called to him from amidst the shadowy surroundings, he stopped at an oak puppet, seemed to move and walk on his own. Jesse could see no strings or anything. He thought he was a typical chunky film scenario. But the puppet soon began to laugh, louder and louder, getting louder and louder every second, those sounds slowly turning into echoing beckon. The puppet stood in front of him and looked up to him. "Keep going that way, you're almost there, if you survive, that is," said the puppet, as it began that demonic laughter, slyly making its way back to the stand. Number 12574 was the placement number. Jesse decided to keep on going, even as sweat was pouring down his face, down his chin, eager for release. Drips, blasts, his sweat pounding against the floor swiftly, his feet dumped step by step against the oddly clean marble floor tiles. Closer and closer he got, the door seemed to get bigger. As he reached it, he slowly grabbed a hold of the silver knob, turning it ever so slightly to the right. Upon the blood-red door was an etching, and a very ominous etching of the puppet master. He had suspiciously big grin on his face. With the door ajar, Jesse decided to take a look closer at the etching, each line down to the exact detail. Well, the detail you expect from the etching, it looked like the face of the puppet master. Even to the hair was the same style. Jesse ran his hand over it, touching the lines, feeling every stroke put into it. As he stopped, he thought he heard a voice, unknowing who it was. The only words were spoken that tickled. Jesse shook it off, just as another strange phenomenon. He pushed the door open, closing it behind him as the lights burned bright in his room. "Welcome, Jesse," said a voice. The same voice from before, the familiarity of the voice. As jaw-dropping. It definitely came from outside this current room, where he just come from. So He slowly left again. He looked around. No puppets seemed to move. Nobody was behind him, yet something was different. He checked out all the puppets, but nothing was out of the ordinary. Well, more so than they already were. He checked all around him, but nothing. While going back to the room, he saw it. He saw the etching of the puppet master. It had vanished, gone. The doll was only blood red from color before. He burst into the room and slammed the door behind him. What is this place? What the fuck is this place? Is this really a puppet story room? He thought to himself, slowly making his way to the big silver pedestal in the distance, the one which held his puppets on top. He just sat there watching him. As he slowly climbed those stairs, he reached the top of what was to take hold of what he loved once more. He saw they were encased in a tube of some sorts, with no way to lift it. Behind him, lights began to flicker, and slowly switched off one by one, exposing him. Trapping in the darkness until only the stairs, the puppets, and at each part of the landing was lit up. He walked past his puppets towards the extra part to see his two videotapes. A small TV set. He sat down, looked upon the tapes, the first called Puppeteer, and the other called Jessie. But before he got the chance to look upon, the light blew out. Jessie backed away to the tube, which was the only place still lit up. As he turned around to face him, they began to stand, turn around, facing the former master with a look of hunger on their faces. The light went out as a screeching sound was heard throughout the room. Glass shattering and a mill's screams was heard in the entire storeroom. The puppet master back in the entrance started smiling and grinning as he began to walk towards the storeroom. 2 days had passed since it happened. The cops received an anonymous box with two tape inside, as well as the note that Jessie was given at home. The tape they showed Jessie within the video. It had everything with Jessie from the moment he stepped into the storeroom, all the way until the point that he died. After watching this video, the cops sent out a patrol to his shop. They put the next video on. They showed the puppet master and a big model of his shop, model version of the shop without the roof. The video showed him controlling Jessie, controlling himself, and every single thing which went on in the other video. Instead, all of them, including Jessie, was a small miniature puppet, but the similarity within the two videos was uncanny. The strangest thing was the dates on the videos. The petrol car pulled from the closure street. Jessie's car was still parked there, but the puppeteer's pattern was no longer there. It was like the shop had been moved. Jessie's remains, by that I mean his head, a few guts, bones, and other entrails were laying on the ground, in that tiny spot where the shop had been. They got a call from the radio. The leader of the case called in, saying that the videos were 3 days apart. While talking through, they were intervened by interference. The radio was flying off of white noise, but subtly in the background was a simple sound of 4 simple words followed by ticking. Those sounds were la-di-da.